Hello, lovelies. So I know it's been a long time that I have been MIA, how is it called, like missing, from my podcast and from my YouTube. So I decided to sort of come back, first of all, and second, apart from recording my podcast and uploading them on, all of the streaming services such as like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and stuff like that. I will also upload them like a video of me talking, just in case some people like watching on YouTube. And I don't know, I just thought that would be nice. I have my laptop here because I've always need a script. So I don't mumble too much, Just to let you know, I took this break on my mental health because I wanted also to rebrand my social media and my social media presence and refocus on what I would like my social media to be about, if that makes any sense, sorry. Yeah, because I kept thinking, like, if I was like a stranger, like someone who doesn't know me and checks my social media, what kind of idea would like them to think about me, So I try to rebrand them, and I mean, obviously I'm always open on feedback or ideas or suggestions and stuff like that. I also figured out but like I want to start like a streaming Twitch gaming channel, which I know this sounds crazy because it's not something I show that I do, but I do like playing PlayStation. Just I haven't found any sort of game that really tricks me to delve into. I think the last one that I played that I really enjoyed was Assassin's Creed Valhalla. But yeah, since then I haven't found anything that I really love to play and I can also stream. But I'm really thinking to like focus on that as well. So, as I said, this break has been mostly to focus on my mental health. So I decided to focus on one of my biggest problems when I was a teenager. Maybe I would say even like pre-teen years, like 10, 11 years old. I think it's called pre-teen. And that has been my relationship with food. And I know that a lot of people, and mostly I would say young girls, young women, struggling with their the relationship with food. So I have been obsessed with my weight since I remember myself, like literally. I was always like the chubby girl in the class. I always felt bad whenever I ate some junk food. I never really let myself enjoy it. Like I ate it and then I start immediately feeling guilty over it. I remember I used to punish myself after I binged on some junk food or whatever by exercising myself to like extreme exercise. I remember like I was spending hours exercising when I was supposed to like sleeping or anything. And my whole life has been around food in a way, like what I will have for breakfast, what I'll have for lunch, what I'll have for dinner. I need to eat that time and then I can have a snack at this time and it needs to be this or that, And it was life consuming. Like, think about it. You always have to think about what you're gonna eat, when you're gonna eat it, the portion, the calories. It was so much. And also my life when I was like a teenager and in my first years of university was around exercise a lot. Like I used to go to the gym and I used to go for like crazy hours. And when I say crazy hours, I mean like I could spend 3 or 4 hours per day. I used to skip like meeting my friends or anything or any socially events that I need to attend just to go to the gym. And if I didn't go for one day, I felt like the whole world was sort of ending, Yeah, it was just crazy thinking about right now. And I remember when I was 16, I was dealing with anorexia, and for months I have this memory in my head that my meals was very specific items, and that was like for breakfast was iced coffee, which is like 0 calories. And for last, I had some Greek salad with bread, but no seasoning, no olive oil, no salt, very small portion of it, very little feta cheese, and could be maximum, I think, 200 calories. And for dinner, I had like a fruit, like a banana, a peach, depends what it was on the season, or maybe an apple, or was maximum 100 calories. Like I think for like a year, I used to have only 300 calories per day, which is insane. How I survived, thinking about that now. Obviously, during the course of these months, I start feeling very dizzy, very weak. I remember my knees were hurting and I couldn't really properly, how can I say, stand up for a long period of time. I would lose my balance quite a bit. And I remember also that I kind of lost my period for like 1.5 years, which is insane. Because obviously, if I didn't eat a lot, I couldn't produce any blood. That really scared me, and I started asking for help. But my whole life I was in war with food, and I couldn't enjoy food, so I was feeling guilty. And I know a lot of other people can relate to what I'm saying. So recently I decided that I cannot anymore be a slave of food. I cannot be a slave of what I'm eating, of my weight or anything. Like, I cannot be in war with myself anymore, And I shouldn't punish myself if I have for one day just ice cream. I think it's important to focus on that the fact that the food is there to provide me nutrition and to keep me alive. And if I feel I want to have ice cream, it's okay, go and get one. And I know it's easy to say that. It's easy to say, oh, everything is great, no more food guilt, no more emotional eating, nothing like that, than just to be done. And I know it's not an overnight change, and it's something I have been doing for like a month now, and I'm not saying all days are perfect or anything. There's obviously some challenges of that. I had a conversation recently with a friend of mine, and we talk about food freedom, and she told me that she doesn't want to look back at her younger self and feel like she skipped some important memories, like meeting friends, traveling, or whatever, just because of food. And that really hit me, because I felt like I cannot let myself be in control about that and losing all the fun. And just when I look back, I feel like, I was just isolating myself, and the only thing that really mattered was just my image, and the food. Because I think that would make me really sad, so I started researching about how can I help myself do that. And there's some few steps that I would like to share you, and obviously I'm very happy to receive any suggestions, any feedback, any ideas that you might have that can help me, that might have helped you. So first step is to stop dieting. And I know it sounds silly and simple, but it's not like that. It surfaces, it can be very easy peasy, but in actually to do it, it can be really hard. I mean, we have been literally conditioned to pursue dieting and weight loss since we came out of the womb. And we're influenced by the magazines we see at the grocery store, the TV commercials, etc. So I would like to explain what I mean by stop dieting. So when you first start teaching diet culture, it's like you're wearing tissue paper as a suit of armor. You're easily impacted by things, so you need to do everything in your power to protect yourself. This means unfollowing diety accounts or social media, surround yourself with non-diet influences, and continue to dive into this area by reading books, listening to podcasts, etc. The more you go through that, the armor you get, it will be thicker And then your brain will stop thinking that you need to go on a diet. So I actually used to have a lot of magazines as like Shape. I don't know if this, or Women's Health. I don't know, like magazines that was all about, diets, weight loss, and like the perfect body mass, or whatever that is, like the beauty standards of the society. And I actually threw them away. Don't worry, I recycle them. And I try to listen to like influencers and podcasts that talking about not a diet culture. I don't like this word. I think more like food freedom that I'm talking about. And that if you crave a cake, ice cream, whatever, just go and have it, because there's nothing wrong with that. And as I said, it's not easy, but it takes time, and obviously you need to sort of reprogram your brain not to think about dieting all the time. And the second point is actually to give your body full overall. First, before you tackling your food rules, because that removes the biological urge to binge those foods. Sometimes just allowing yourself to eat adequately is hard enough, and doing it at the same time as breaking your food rules can be overwhelming, can cause confusion. Obviously, everyone is different, but it was overwhelming for me. So this is how now I teach food freedom and what I fight to achieve the most success. So basically, in a simple way, is to explain that is like when you think, okay, I want to go on a diet, I can just eat whatever I want without any freedom. You don't have to overindulge yourself on all the things you didn't have before, because that's like another way to binge, and it's not like a food freedom. You should probably listen to your body and try to make sure it's fueled like properly, like has enough protein, fiber, and all other nutritions, that I cannot think of now, and just focus on more like balanced meals throughout the day. So do not push yourself with all the foods you're not allowed to have because of dieting. Like, I don't know, whatever was like in your not to eat list. And that was something I find myself quite not hard with a hard way or anything, but especially when I'm in period and I crave stuff, I can crave 10 different food items, 10 different junk food items, but I don't want to eat them like a whole packet of crisps or like a whole ice cream tub. I just want a spoon of that, and that's so hard to like make yourself to stop and just put limits. So this is also something else I was practicing during my period cravings, like to have junk food around my house and just be able to but like not to feel I have to eat them all, because then I will be like, oh, I have junk food, and if I don't finish it now, I will eat them every day. No, it's okay. Like if you want to grab some crisps and have them, I don't know, alongside your burger, or I don't know, as a snack, it's okay. You don't have to finish a whole bag of crisps or anything like that. So that's important as well to be aware. Yeah. Step 3 is like body acceptance and finding joyful movement. And I truly believe in order to make peace with food, you must learn to make peace with what you put that food into. Like, I like to focus more on body acceptance and body respect, this feeling positive about my body all the time, because I don't think that's realistic. However, we can always view our bodies through a lens of respect and appreciation, regardless of what we see in the mirror. And you can also find exercise that you really enjoy doing it, instead of a way to punish your body or to burn some calories. Like, I like trying different hobbies. Like, I took some swimming classes recently, and in the past I have taken some rock climbing classes that I really enjoy, and I'm looking to find pole dancing classes around my area. And yes, I'm not gonna be perfect, because obviously I never done any of this before I tried to do them. And yes, I'm terrified, but also I feel like I was wanting to try, and I know that they instructions there like to help me out and not punish me, because I don't know, because if I knew already, I don't know, I wouldn't need any structure, you know what I mean? I would just get a pole in my house and just start dancing. But yes, I also like going to the gym as a way to, like, for me, I really like to become more stronger, at least from the waist and above from my body, because I have very strong legs, or at least I would like to think that. So yes, so I like going and just do some, you know, torso and back exercises. Not torso, it's called chest, sorry, chest and back exercises. So yeah, and what I want to say this step is like, you don't have to see your body as, I don't know, as based on the weight or what it looks in the mirror or whatever, but more of like, this is your eternal home and you have to take care of it. So you have to make sure it has enough nutrition that it needs to kind of flourish in a sense. And I think that's really important, and it's really hard. But I think what I find quite useful is like to think all the beautiful things that my body allows me to do, such as I can walk, I can write, I can read, I can pick up stuff with my hands, I can pet dogs, I can run, I can swim, like, and it's amazing because sometimes we don't really realize how amazing our bodies are and we take it for granted. And the step 4 is to implement gentler nutrition. And I don't know if you remember, I said food is not just about eating ice cream or junk food all day. Nutrition does play a big role, and especially food freedom, culture, and we need to, how can I say, we need to match our eternal craving with like a health knowledge. Okay, so that's extremely hard, so I'm not saying you have to study and learn like donut, apart from this color has this kind of, I don't know, fat, fiber, whatever can have, or ice cream or whatever, junk food, but in sort of way to balance the quantity and the quality of what you're eating. So instead of going and buy donuts, let's say from Krispy Kreme, I'm just in a random donut company, you know, you can just make them at home and make them in your way, so with ingredients, you know, with the way, you know, so they don't have to be like deep fried. You can make them in the oven in specific donut shape, baking, I don't know, trays. I found the word, sorry. And that's also something really, really nice. Something I really like doing is like preparing every meal I'm having and like giving my love to it in a sense. Okay. Now that I talk a bit about some steps that helped me into entering, let's say, a food freedom mindset, it sounds like a hard work, and it is. And it's not just, oh, I just did this step this day, tomorrow I will do this, the next day that, blah, 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 and then, okay, I'm ready to enter food freedom. No, it's a constant. And diet culture, especially if you've been into feeling that you have to diet all the time, it can take, like, for me, it was more than 10 years now. I have been programming my brain to think that I need a diet to, I don't know, lose weight or keep me in a specific weight, let's say. It's a constant battle that you need to deal with it, because diet culture is like a beast, and you need to keep working on a food freedom mentality in order to be able to resist it. And now it sounds like, oh, this is more because now I have to think that, but it's more about, it is a battle. It's like every time, like, oh, if you have any other, let's say, illness, you have to, like, for example, 10 days to stay in bed and drink the specific medicine, then you'll be gone because you've been sick for like a week. And if you've been sick for, if you have been, no, sorry, not sick, but if you have been battling diet culture for over 10 years, I'm not saying it's gonna take 10 years to get out of it, but it will take a long period of time to get into food freedom mindset and sort of like really set yourself free. And you don't really have to think about it anymore because you have programmed your brain to do it. That's what I'm trying to say. One thing that I really recommend is to take one day of the week. Let's say you want to do it Friday, you want to do it Saturday, you want to do it Sunday, you want to do it Monday. It's up to you how you want to celebrate. I mean, I'm just on these days because I know some people like to do Friday because then it's a weekend, or they like to do Sunday because it's the last day, and some people like to do Monday because it's the first day of the week. But like, pick one day that you like based on your schedule, you know, and kind of reflect of what you had and how it makes you feel, and also to reflect about your physical health, like what kind of exercise you did this week. Let's say you do this on Fridays, you reflect on that on Friday, so you write Monday, I had this for food, made me feel that. You want to write maybe even why, but let's say you didn't have time to exercise, but you took like a walk, like 2 minutes walk, because let's be honest, if you live like in a big city such as London, you walk quite a lot. So you might even walk like more than 10,000 steps. That is recommended by, I think it's recommended by doctors to do at least 10,000 steps, which is good for your health. So it's a form of exercise as well, you know, like, and we might do that without really realizing that we kind of exercise ourselves. So yes, and obviously I think each person's different, so maybe my coping mechanisms and my, I don't know, the list of the rules or the steps, that I mentioned may not work for all of you, or some of them might, or with some alterations or whatever, but I think it's important to find your coping mechanism against diet culture and try to program your brain into food freedom culture. Okay, also just a reminder, I'm not a therapist or a dietitian. It's just my personal journey and my personal experience that I'm sharing on social media, and I would love really to hear your feedback, your thoughts. I'm always available on Instagram. Have a lovely day.